Hey everybody, you're listening to What Are You Doing in Denmark, the podcast that helps you make Denmark make sense. My name is Derek Hartman, and I've been living in Denmark since 2017. And I'd like to welcome back a friendly face and a friendly voice that you've seen and heard many times on the podcast by now. Welcome back, Jeff Bond.
Thank you so much, Derek. It's great to be back.
Yeah. Wonderful to have you here again and to be here during spooky season.
Spooky season. Yeah. Spooky Uhyggelig. Uhyggelig. It's the time of year where every Danish marketing team just sticks a U in front of Hygge and they go, done.
And we are off for the rest of the month until Christmas.
2.7 million kroner, please, for that advertising
And then we
campaign.
are changing it to Jule.
Yeah. They get a lot of utility out of the U word.
This is Q4 is a really easy time.
It's
you
easy.
Just coast through when you're in Danish marketing.
They're like home stretch, baby.
Yeah. Well, we are tapping right into that because we're going to have a Uhyggelig discussion actually about Halloween and kind of spooky season and what that's like here in Denmark, because it is a question that I'll get quite a bit of like, oh, what do you do with Halloween there? What's it like? Do they have Halloween there? Things like that. You know, whether it's my family or just people curious on social media, things like that. Maybe you've gotten that as well, because I know Halloween is pretty big in Ireland, UK, and US probably.
Oh, but the US is it's huge in the US. No, it's massive. Yeah. And I mean, obviously, I always heard this, and I don't know if it's true, but it's like most people say Halloween's like a very American holiday.
I think so basically, like when you go back in history, it actually originated in sort of the Celtic realm. You know, the Scottish and Irish, really that's where the holiday came from.
So to ward off spirits and things.
Exactly. So it was Samhain.
Oh yeah,
Samhain. Okay, yes, I need your pronunciation.
Okay.
Is the origin, and basically it traces back to the ancient Celtic festival, which marked the end of the harvest season, so the start of winter.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
I of course, in America, I just always goes like America goes, we'll take that and we'll make it bigger, better, bolder, fun,
and sell it.
Yeah, and sell the just capitalism, baby.
Yeah,
and then but obviously it's like when you hear it, it's originated from Ireland or the UK, it's like, so it's just going to be really messed up and sad. You know what I mean? It's like, well, like, serious, what we did is we just took, like, the nearest fox and we just swung it around and then we just threw it into the lake and that's Halloween. And you're like, is it?
Kind of. You're like, yeah, that's the movie Halloween. Jason.
Yeah, Jason Voorhees, he turns up, you know? It's just, I loved Halloween since, are you doing anything for Halloween? Like, are you, like...
Yeah, the growing up was always, like, huge. I loved it. This year, I'm heading to London to celebrate, with some of my holiday friends. We're all meeting.
Do you have like a costume picked out yet?
Yeah, I'm going to be a cowboy.
Nice.
Yeah, makes sense. I was like, I'm just going to lean into my American identity.
100%.
I'll just do it. I'm not from the Southwest, but I will cosplay it for an evening.
Have you? I
don't like face paint or wigs too. So no, I don't. No.
That's fair. Yeah. Are you going in? Are we going as cowboy? Or are we just going are we going as cowboy? Or are we going as sexy cowboy? Or are we going as cowboy so people can say we're sexy cowboy just by default?
It's definitely the latter. I mean, it's hard for me to deny that.
It's hard for me to turn it off.
It's hard for me to make this not sexy, but I will.
Cowboys are always fun.
Aren't they all? Yeah. I mean, I don't think you can make a cowboy unsexy.
Yeah. Well, it is very true. I played a cowboy once in Tivoli.
That's right, at the Crazy Christmas Cabaret.
That was my fiance's favorite character.
There you go.
And I was there, like, I was playing like a drunk idiot.
Still have that one stashed away.
Still got it on. Got those jeans. I was like, I'm gonna need these for later.
That's great.
That's it. It was like, in the bit, I was like, I'm playing like a drunk idiot and stuff. Just like, yeah, that's you.
Yeah,
but in a cowboy outfit.
Inspiration.
That's what I mean. It's just like, but the rapper was different. You know? So, but I
are you partaking in any costuming this year or
no? Normally, there's my friend. She moved away. She's moved back to the UK, but she usually threw like this Halloween party kind of thing. I always liked Halloween because I always liked dressing up. It's like costumes and that's always very fun. But then I don't think I'm doing anything this year. I mean, also Halloween, at least where I was growing up, was very, very different. So like when my family moved to the northwest of England, we Halloween was called Busy Night.
Okay.
So like in the northwest near Liverpool and stuff. I don't know if anyone who's listening from, g'day lads, how's it going? But like in Liverpool, It's called Busy Night, and busy stands for like police.
Oh, okay.
Right?
I think I know where you're going.
Yeah, so
similarities.
Trick or Treat.
Yeah,
they mainly just do the tricking part, and I mean, like it's a lot of egging and TPing of houses.
Exactly. Okay, so in the U.S., I think maybe we carried that tradition as well. At least where I grew up in the Northeast, it was very much the 30th, the night before Halloween was always mischief night. We called it
Mizzy Night. There we go. Now we're talking. Look at this. Look at this cultural bridge that we formed through.
Okay, so we got
violence.
We got all the bad habits from you as well.
100%.
Wow. Okay, so that one made it over. Yeah.
I did that when I was a teenager. Yeah. I did that. I remember once. Me and my friends in the area that we were, there was a police car that drove by. We bought some eggs. Like eggs, you can buy eggs as well. Like if you were a teenager,
right.
They wouldn't sell you eggs.
I did that once, like bought 2 dozen eggs, 24.
Smart.
Yeah.
Smart.
You never know where you're going to
bulking up.
And it was like a Friday or Saturday night, and the owner of the grocery store like checked the license plate in the car and called the police. So I got home, and my parents were very upset. Like, what were you doing with all the police called? I was like, what?
What the hell?
I feel like that's infringing on my civil liberties to buy eggs.
100%.
Just because, like, teenagers might not be baking.
Yeah.
You know?
That's
like,
what I mean. You're just very upset. Just they're like, I just wanted to make a load of cupcakes.
Like, what about my protein?
I'm just trying to get big.
Like, well, I was going to make you breakfast in bed, Mom and Dad, but now I'm not.
Now I'm going to go throw them.
Now I'm going to throw them at the neighbors. In fact, I already did because I had a feeling this would happen.
So checkmate, and I will see you in my room for my grounding. I love the idea of you, like that's like some very like faux police thing. It's like that. It's like a drug deal. Like you're opening up the eggs, and you're it's
look,
pure.
Of all the people in my high school that were breaking laws on that particular Saturday night, like me and my 2 friends who were driving around in my mom's minivan to consider possibly throwing eggs at houses.
It's the soccer moms.
Like, come on. Like, it could have been worse. I could have been doing a lot worse in suburban Philadelphia at that hour on a Saturday night, and I was just chucking eggs at a couple of yuppie houses.
Just you guys turning up in like trench coats and like a hat, like meeting in a car park, and they're like, if you got the stuff, and then you just hand over like 24
eggs,
just opening it like in Pulp Fiction with the gold. Like, it's perfect.
So stupid.
$5 an egg,
and that wasn't even mischief night, but that's
that was Wednesday.
Yeah, it was definitely a Saturday. I distinctly remember getting in trouble for that. But yeah, I mean, so stupid. But mischief night was something that we carried over as well. And I think part of the American commercialism and capitalism definitely set Halloween on fire in a way. But in a more cutesy way of retelling it, I think it was a lot of the Irish and Scottish immigration that, we do sort of like cannibalize and take the best things from everywhere. Well, but part of it is just how we integrate our immigrants.
Native American, is to use old parts of the buffalo.
Oh, yeah, true. Yeah. Well, that was our way of saying, okay, yes, you are immigrants and we like your traditions and we're going to wrap them into our new country. Yeah, and that's kind of what we did.
That's it.
If you want to look at it in a nicer way.
Yes. And don't white people love to do that?
Yes, we do. Yeah, we have made quite a country out of doing
rose-tinted glasses all the way.
But
I remember we threw just because benefits of misspent youth and all this kind of stuff. And you're a teenage boy and you're just angry and horny all the time. So I remember once my friend was like, I dare you throw this egg at this police car. And I was like, okay. So I did. And then obviously whoop whoop whoop. And then we all like just ran. And then we spent like the next like 25 minutes, and these policemen, they're like, oh my god, like where are these kids? Like we've got bigger fish to fry, and we were like to ourselves, like, we're like Pablo Escobar,
right?
We're like, you know what I mean? We're like the biggest baddest.
Like,
out. Dude, we just assaulted a police officer.
Did you get caught?
No, we did not.
Oh wow,
no, we did not. I was with my friend Adam.
I wonder if somebody else did and got pegged for it.
Man,
like you had a patsy.
Oh, that would have been man. Just
like the valedictorian of your school was walking down the street.
The person who's just bought eggs for baking.
Right, yes.
Just someone walking home is just like, I'm no, but I'm gonna make these some cupcakes for the local charity, and it's like, don't try that stuff.
Don't try that stuff on
Get
me.
in the van.
Bake sale my ass.
Exactly.
We're taking you downtown.
That was so many silly things I did as a kid. My mum's definitely gonna listen to this.
Yeah. Excellent.
Sorry, Mum.
Yeah.
But Halloween here is like the day. Tivoli. They just absolutely love it.
From when I first moved here almost 8 years ago, I feel like I've seen it really grow in that time as well. Where it seemed like something that maybe people had a whiff of, kind of an idea of. Tivoli, of course, did their Halloween.
Yeah, the big spook fest.
Big spook fest or whatever it is.
I think they call her something. Yeah.
But otherwise, it didn't seem like it was that mainstreamed. But now it really seems like it's kind of captured the day of attention. Yeah,
it's like here.
Yeah. As we kind of get into the conversation, let's do a little bit of a game.
Yeah, let's do some
hypotheticals about Halloween.
Let's do some treat.
I was thinking, kind of a trick or treat. So we already talked about the the tricks that you played on yourself.
Yeah.
But let's start some games. How about a little would you rather thought experiment?
Nice.
So, would you rather spend a night in a haunted house, but all of the ghosts are friendly?
Okay.
Or would you rather spend a night in your regular house, but with one very annoying poltergeist?
Ooh, like I know, is the poltergeist like aggressive?
Not aggressive, just annoying.
Annoying.
Like just doing things that annoy you, taking the cap off your toothpaste.
Now the second one,
starting the microwave when nothing's in it, that kind of thing. Yeah.
The second one I like the most because in this scenario I own a house.
Right. Yeah, right.
Which is the dream.
Literally just for that.
For a millennial, I'll deal with an annoying poltergeist for if I get to have a house. That's so cool. I mean, also that's just like a roommate. You know, that's just they do annoying stuff all the time.
I'm experienced with that. Yeah, that could work.
Yeah, I remember one time I got told off by one of my roommates. It was 5 people in the shared flat. And we got told off because, I had like a plate and maybe cutlery and 2 glasses in my room because, life. And he was like, dude, come on, like we all have to share. I was like, right, yeah, sure. You know what? Fair. Okay. So I walked downstairs because he was a very put together guy. And I was like, right, fair. Okay, whatever. So I walked down the stairs and then like a week later, I walked down the stairs and I walked past his room and his room door is normally closed. And it's open. And he has like, have you seen the film Signs with Mel Gibson?
Yes.
He has like glasses everywhere. And I was like, the hypocrisy knows no bounds. And I knocked on his door. I was like, hey man, like, what's going on here? Like this, are you trying to do like the flight of the bumblebees on glasses? Like that, and I was like, are you gonna? And he was like, oh yeah, and that was really satisfying to be able to catch him red-handed in that kind of way. You know what I mean? To be like, don't be a hypocrite.
So the poltergeist would definitely be
the poltergeist
more
for
chill
me.
than that.
The poltergeist for me. I mean, and like I remember seeing a thing on the internet which was a joke a long time ago, which is why are all the ghosts always like old Victorians? Or like children, and again, I take no credit for this. This is not my thing. I saw it on the internet. It was like, why is it not a ghost from like the early 2000s screaming, "It's Britney, bitch"? You know, why is it always like you're gonna die? Why is it not like slay? Like you just hear in the middle of like, that'd freak me out a lot more rather than just like on the night of the eve, everyone shall perish. Right? Yeah. You know, rather just shouting things from like early pop culture references.
Yeah. Like,
so I have 2 youngest...
They're so bad that we can't even think of it.
We can't even think of them now. But that's just repressed memory.
Oh, yeah.
That's just trauma.
Or like, that's hot.
Yeah,
like in Paris Hilton voice.
Yeah, that's hot.
That's hot.
That's hot. You really need to hit the vocal fret. That's hot.
Yeah.
You know?
It's even her fake voice.
That's true. Yeah. But that Paris Hilton would be good in The Grudge. You know, because then there's that. Because in The Grudge, it goes like
yeah.
That was Paris Hilton's first role.
Basically, her.
Yeah, it's just like that's hot. And they're like, Paris, perfect. You've nailed it. You've nailed it.
Well, a follow-up question. Speaking of The Grudge, and maybe this would be your answer, but I don't think so. If you could summon any Halloween creature to be your intern for a week, what creature would it be? Your assistant, your intern, help you with chores, whatever.
That's really cool.
Clean up after the annoying poltergeists.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
can you just sort out Kenneth? Because he's really in my space right now. What a life. Can I have this life? I'm owning a house.
These are great hypotheticals.
I'm killing it right now. This is so cool. First, my initial instinct immediately was vampire. Like, that was my initial instinct.
But they can't go anywhere without being invited in.
True.
Only work at night. Well, you kind of work at night.
I work at night, so that's pretty good.
Could work.
But also, I don't know what would necessitate me coming into a place without people inviting me.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Like,
what do you really need a vampire for anyway?
Yeah, exactly. I mean, I do like garlic.
Yeah.
I have religious iconography everywhere. No, I don't. But like, and then all right, you got a mummy, Frankenstein, but slow and not
powerful, but
not that smart. I mean,
kind of dumb.
Yeah, kind of dumb. But then again, that's kind of you just kind of want someone for tasks. I just need someone
task rabbit.
Yeah, that will come and clean my house. And that's all I kind of need really in my life. And you just come and pick up the things and that gather around in my apartment and then put them away. That's kind of what I need. So I think a Frankenstein's monster could help me.
Yeah, or even the scientist.
Frankenstein himself. But I'm blanking now. So you got like vampire, mummy, a mummy.
A mummy, yeah. I mean, first aid. Like,
that's very true.
You know, if you injure yourself a lot, that's great.
True.
Very convenient.
I mean, also, but that just what a downgrade for that mummy that used to be a pharaoh and is now
you're
a struggling Irish comedian in Copenhagen, and he's picking up my socks. Just add it to the bandages. Just add it to the. He's like, oh man, I used to rule all of Egypt, and now I'm getting this guy's. I mean, that's kind of. But I think that's how most internationals feel sometimes. You know, you hear about these people who come.
They're like, I was a doctor.
I was a neurosurgeon, and now now I'm
sorry, I forgot your chopsticks. Here is your order. Yeah,
I'm very, very sorry. I'm so sorry. So in a way, I think a mummy would be my choice. What would your choice be?
Ooh, I think something about if you could tame the instincts, I think the Wolfman would be, or the werewolf would be maybe where to go.
But that's really.
I feel like I just need like some backup. I feel like I run my mouth a lot, and I kind of just want. I was in a fraternity, so like I got used to running my mouth, but having like much bigger guys.
Were you
the
short one?
I kind of was like the shit talking one from Philadelphia.
As always,
so like I had.
That's so funny.
I talked myself into and then subsequently out of a lot of fights, but talking myself out of those fights was pretty much because I had much bigger friends.
Yeah, you got the quarterback.
I'm like, or you can talk to Chad.
Which one's Chad? He's the one there crushing a keg with his bare hands.
So that was so I feel like that's missing, and
also you in Philadelphia. I'm just imagining like in the 1940s. Here's a question for you. Right?
How old do you think I am?
No,
in the 1940s?
Classic millennial, doesn't know anything. No, I was like in the 1940s. Do you think you would have joined a gang in the 1940s?
Oh, yeah, probably.
I 100%.
Yeah.
Like it wouldn't even. I would immediately. I'd be man. You get to talk like that.
Yeah.
Hey, welcome to Philly.
Oh man, the suspenders alone, I would have been in it.
That's
for sure.
That was so camp.
Yeah,
I was there like, being again. Oh my god, the suspenders. Oh my god, but the outfits.
Wait, but the outfits? Yeah.
Sexy cowboy, sexy gangster,
cowboy, sexy gangster.
Like, just man. And I loved the idea. I was like, you want to talk? What would your gangster nickname be? That's Derek. This is Derek.
Yeah, I think true.
True. That's Derek True.
No.
You don't want to mess with Derek.
I don't feel like Babyface is always
Babyface
like
has been taken.
Yeah, but that's taken. So I feel like something else face. I don't know.
Something else face. We got
something
Babyface.
Something else.
We got Scarface, and we got something else face.
Yeah.
Why not the mouth? That's pretty cool.
Oh, the mouth. Yeah.
That's cool.
Yeah.
There's a Derek the mouth. Huh?
Yeah.
Hey,
that's it. Yeah.
You want to be careful with the mouth over here. That's good.
It's got that's
got a bit of a ring right.
Yeah.
He's from the streets of Philly. He once bought 24 eggs at a bake sale. He's got the goods. You don't want to mess with him.
Well, that would have been us with our gangster and our henchman and.
If you're a gangster and you had like a werewolf.
Yeah, so that's what the werewolf would have been. Yeah.
Werewolf gangster.
So like the mouth and the werewolf.
The mouth and the werewolf.
Yeah, it would have been a lot like
That sounds like a British pub.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, where are you going, mate? I'm going to the mouth and the werewolf.
Mouth and werewolf.
It's just the funny thing about British pubs is like two random nouns. You know what I mean?
It's always. I feel like it's always, and maybe like either a color or like cross or arms,
or like So you've got like historical figures or like a monarchist or something like that. But then the best ones, it's like, where are you going? Oh yeah, mate, I'm going to the Wrench and Duck. It's like, what? Those aren't related.
That's not a thing.
That's not a thing.
What is
so what about that? It was just I'm going to the cactus and the butterfly. I think that's just a song.
Like, you just name that after your tattoos.
Yeah.
Like, why? No.
I don't know what my gangster nickname would be. My friends called me the Joke. They called me the Joke in university a lot, like just because I had a way of things always just messing up for me, like in a sense.
And how appropriate?
Yeah,
too.
very appropriate.
During comedy.
Yeah, that's it. And so now I've internalized it. I was like, well, why I might as well do it for a living.
There we go.
And get some money out of it.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? Like if I'm gonna make people laugh.
Well, now the joke's on you. Hey. On the Halloween tiff, I think it is interesting seeing it grow here. A bit more. The one thing I think, though, especially kind of talking about the scarier characters, the Wolfman, vampire, that kind of thing, is I do find that it tends to kind of lean towards the spooky only, and not necessarily like the funny. Yeah, it's definitely like terror. I feel like a lot of like blood, gore, that kind of thing is really what you see in the way that Danes and the Danish version of Halloween.
Yeah.
Because I think it is slightly different everywhere. And what I've always wondered is that partially because of like Fastelavn?
Yeah.
Because that's where you see more of the comic book heroes and the fun and funny costuming. And then it sort of seems like, to distinguish it, I feel like a lot of the representation I see in Halloween in Denmark is of that like scary trauma. Yes. Yeah.
We used to have a thing around where I used to live. It was called Farmageddon, and it was like it was that kind of thing, where like crazy clowns chase you with props, chainsaws, and stuff. Like life's stressful enough.
We would do a lot of like haunted hay rides and things like that, which with my seasonal allergies, that's scary enough.
Real terror,
I didn't need the hay ride. The hay ride is all I.
Oh look, Derek's crying. No, it's allergies.
It's allergies.
It's allergies.
But it would be like and it would be like Men in Chainsaws with a hockey mask, like a Jason mask, and like I'm 6. Why am I here?
Yeah,
it was a lot.
Do you remember again? Like ages ago, there was the epidemic of crazy clowns. Do you remember that was a thing?
Yeah, like 2015, 2016.
Yeah, that's another one of those things that again we've just kind of
we just kind of like memory hold that.
Yeah, but that was like
it was normal and acceptable.
That was terrifying.
Yeah.
It was just like there were people on the streets who dressed up as clowns. They would hold a knife, and then someone would be walking home and it's there. It's like, well, what?
Why?
And why weren't they arrested? And why did that happen?
Yeah.
And so many questions to that one as well. I've never understood people who wanted to like when my friends would go to these places to go get scared and be terrified for their lives. It's like, if I wanted that, I'd just walk through like the city late at night, like past 2 a.m.
If I'm leaving the house for that, I could get scared at home.
Yeah, I could do that.
I'll just log into Scat or I don't
check my oars up, girl.
Right.
Do you like spooky movies? Do you like scary movies?
I do, but you know what? I'm very jumpy. I just always have this warning of people like, I will watch this with you.
But you are going to jump.
But as soon as something like comes out, I'm going to jump. So like, I'm not holding the popcorn. We should probably sit on separate chairs or separate ends of the sofa because I will scream. I'm very jumpy. And I'm very like, when I go to something that's like a haunted house, if something is jumping out at me, I want to throw fists. I get very.
Dude,
it's hard for me to suspend that. I get very fight or flight. Like
I punch.
Yes,
I told my mates this as well when we were in the house. It's like, if you jump out at me, I am going to hit you. Like I will. Like, and this isn't me being macho. Like, oh, dude, I'm always ready. Like, I'm just like an alpha male. It's like, no, it's not it's a pathetic punch. It's
it's a slap. No, for me, I'm just like, Chad,
come and get me.
Chad, help.
I love that, man. But like, I don't know. It's like usually when you would watch horror movies when you were younger, it was like to show like your date would be I'm a bit scared.
This doesn't scare me. I was always like, no, I may not be like really scared, but I'm gonna yell, I'm gonna scream, I will watch it.
I don't like jump scares because I think like in my
That's what it's called, jump scares.
Jump scares.
Yes,
I don't like them because it's like, all right, okay, you're going to look in the mirror and then the camera's going to pan to the left and there's going to be something that wasn't there before in the mirror. Like, I know it's going to, and it gets me every time.
I have to like brace myself because I'm like,
something's
like, I always hate, because I feel like a lot, it's very common now where they'll do sort of like a fake out where it's like, you think that like something's going to jump out and like they're going to get like stabbed or attacked. And then it just ends up being like, the puppy walks into the frame, and I'm like, damn it.
You could do a movie where it's just all of that. Like, it's like the scariest movie you've ever seen.
And there's just no payoff
the
at
tension.
all.
Yeah, and it's just a normal day.
Yeah, that would drive me absolutely crazy.
It's like an hour and a half, and he's an old man. He's with his partner holding hands, and you're like, what's this?
It's like the music, and then you hear like a heartbeat sound, and then you just turn, and it's like two men in a rocking chair on their porch,
but like on a heart machine, because they're
heart machine.
It's like, wow, this is surprisingly wholesome.
This is.
At Cannes Film Festival, they'd be like, because the real horror is life. And they'd be like, oh, 5 stars, perfect. I don't like jump scares as well, just because it'd be like if I, in the middle of my act, just went to the front row and tickled someone.
Right.
Like, you
it
technically laughed.
Cheap.
Yeah.
It's like, this is how, come on, like, get me with something. Give me a mind fuck. Give me like something really scary.
Give me a mind fuck. Is it too late to change my gangster name? Can I be Jefferson Mindfuck?
I like that.
Hey, whoa, it's Mindfuck
over here. It's Mindfuck in the mouth. They're dressed up like clowns.
But with suspenders. Sexy.
Yeah.
Mindfuck in the mouth sounds like a 90s American DJ. You're tuning in to Mindfuck in the Mouth. And they're like, guys, we can't
no,
that.
We're not. That can't be your name.
And it's just like, it's either there or nothing. I love that. It's Mindfuck in the Mouth.
Let's wrap up what we think the future of Halloween in Denmark will be. Do you think it's going to keep growing? Do you think it's going to sort of mesh into more of that Fastelavn in the fall kind of thing that we sometimes see
maybe
in other cultures, or do you think it'll just kind of like distinctly stay in that kind of gory?
Well, I personally just believe that, what I really do love about this country is like traditions are so they're very this is a tradition, this is what we have and we like it, so I don't think it will emerge because
I'd agree with
Fastelavn for danskerne, det er en dansk tradition, and then you have Halloween, which is like fun and like, oh, okay, let's traumatize 12-year-olds. You know what I mean? Like, all right, cool. A bit of trauma is healthy for people.
Yeah.
Right?
It served me well. Yeah.
I mean, my therapist disagrees.
Yeah.
It's like, oh, wow. It's like, oh, wow.
Like, have you had any anxiety and depression lately? I'm like, yeah, but who hasn't?
And exactly. Depression is kind of like a
rite of passage.
Yeah. Oh, what, you're saying I'm interesting?
Baseline normality? Yeah.
Go into the haystack, kids. Go be terrified.
Yeah, I tend to agree though, because I think I will hear people say or people will comment things like, well, we have Fastelavn, so we don't really need Halloween, and we don't want it. It's this American thing, and I'm like, well, it's not American.
Yeah.
And also, you can have two things.
Yeah.
I don't think it's displacing any Danish culture.
No.
It's just adding something new, and I don't think it's necessarily American culture or UK culture. I think it's just this global culture that is existing everywhere, because I think even in the US, of course, it was often immigrant groups that brought different traditions from elsewhere into the US, but at this point it's global culture. It's this online, it's things coming in from TikTok or social media or other things where we didn't know about a certain thing. I'm not saying that Americans are going to be dumping cinnamon on people for their 25th birthday. However, that's something that I think originated in Jylland, and now people are doing here in Zealand and vice versa. So I think like that happens everywhere.
100%.
We're really just sort of melding into like one giant culture,
which is such a
monoculture.
I totally see that, and I think
it's harder for like Danes to swallow that sometimes, because they do have a very passion about their distinct cultural things. Yeah. It's sometimes harder to not feel threatened by something like Halloween.
But I think again, maybe I think that's so true, because I think the worry is that Halloween might overtake Fastelavn, and like I don't think that'll ever happen.
No,
like
you can have to.
I think it's
because we have Carnival in other countries and Halloween.
Yeah.
You know, we celebrate Carnival.
I mean,
Mardi Gras. Mardi Gras is basically Fastelavn.
St. Patrick's Day is also celebrated here as well, which is just like, okay. I mean, everyone just treats it as
doesn't mean we don't have J Day.
Yeah, exactly.
Or get incredibly intoxicated other times of the year.
Or you know, you've had it's been a Tuesday. But I think you touched on something really interesting there, which is like, you know, we're all turning into one. Like, I think there's two sides of that coin, which I think is one is great. Yeah. I think absolutely. I think you know, the more we start to see the similarities, and if you want, you can put in some emotional music here, like some maybe Claire de Lune or something. Oh. But I think the more we start to see that we're all very much the same, but with different things that make us special and unique and wonderful, and like that's not a negative thing. That's a good thing. I think that's great, but then there's the other side of that. The more homogenous that we become, it's like maybe this is just me starting to get older, but like you're like, oh, Sabrina Carpenter is this, and I'm like, who is that?
That right?
I really don't know who that is, but it's because of the TikTok and everything that it's just everyone. I am aware of it because I've heard a song and it was on a video and I've heard that, but you know back in my day, you know, you used to have to like share a song through like something. You'd be like, oh, have you checked these guys out? And sure, you could, you know, internet it up after and search for it. But before it was like you were put onto things. But now it just seems to be these are the people throughout the world. Here they are.
Well, it's funny. Like, and Danes, please excuse me for talking about somebody who's Swedish, but the you know the group Roxette from like the 90s, right? 80s, 90s. So they only became. I mean, they blew up in the U.S. and they got on like the Pretty Woman soundtrack and things like that because of an exchange student from Sweden who worked at the college radio station in like University of Minnesota or something like that in the 80s, and they played a Roxette track, and then people started calling in and like saying,
"Oh, what's that?" Yeah,
and then started calling into local radio stations like in the area, like say the Minneapolis. Like mainstream stations, not the college radio, and saying, "Oh, can you play this rock?" And they were like, "I don't have that. I don't know that." So then they went and like imported the album, and then it started getting play, and then just expanded into other markets, and like that's how they blew up in the U.S.
That's
and
amazing.
Then their career. So it was not even like their first album, but was how they.
But like, isn't that's
things
great.
like that don't happen organically anymore?
No, they don't.
It's like, you know, it's all of this like this systematic, formulaic.
Formula.
This was formula for music.
I read an article recently, and by read an article, I mean watched a YouTube video.
Exactly.
Which was about like how now album record companies, they're just going like, right, well, what will be a 10-second TikTok bit?
Yeah. And that's how they're launching music.
Yeah, and that's how you're like, oh, okay. Like, boom.
So that's the future of Halloween in Denmark. It's going to be whatever AI detects will be successful.
I mean, I like Halloween. I think it's also very important for people who, you know, like my dad loves Halloween, and my dad was a solicitor for many years, and he would be the most eccentric person dressing up.
What did he solicit?
He solicited roadside accidents.
Oh.
He anything to do with car crashes. He was your man. But he would really go for Halloween. He loved Halloween. Yeah. But I think it's because, you know, in his day-to-day life, you know what I mean?
It's a little bit of escapism, right?
Yeah, and so you really get to, like, you know, he went as Barry Manilow at one point. Like, he just went for it. Cool. He loved it. And I think that's an important part, I suppose, for, like, I don't want to generalize, but here, you know, a lot of it's a bit reserved. It's a little bit more, well, I don't want to lose face. And I think Halloween is a time where you get to go, hey, we're all gonna be something crazy. Yeah. I'm a keyboard covered in jam. You know, like it's like right. Okay.
And that's kind of the thing where maybe you get to do or dress or be the thing that you always wanted to be all year, but you don't have the confidence to do it until everybody's doing it on that one day, and then it's cool to do.
Yeah, exactly.
And that's the reason for the season.
I really think so. That's the reason for the season, baby. Sexy cowboy.
Sexy cowboy. What I always wanted to be.
That's exactly it. I think so.
Yeah. Well, there's the future of Halloween.
There's the future of Halloween.
But as we go, Jeff, tell us. I know you've got some big things coming up besides just Halloween. We're talking about your show. We were talking about everything going on in your world. So tell us where we can find you and see you, because I'm excited to hear about your
I'd love
tour.
to. I'm doing my first proper one-man show, first proper with like tour manager and venues, and it's going to be recorded. It's very exciting. So it's like 3.5 years of my best material put together. It's called Lucky Potato. I'm coming to Aarhus on the 31st of October. I'm going to be in Copenhagen on the 7th of November, and I am going to be in Aalborg on the 26th of November. And it's all about fitting in and finding a place to belong. So if you can relate to that, I'd love to see you there. It's
Aren't we all?
Yeah, yes. You know. Please come. Like, otherwise they're going to kick me out of the country. Like, I need this. Like, you know, please come.
Help Jeff out.
Yeah,
We'll have all the information to find his show and get your own tickets in the show notes and the description. And we think that you should go see it, whether you're in Aarhus, Aalborg, or Copenhagen. And thanks for joining us today, Jeff.
No problem. Thank you for having me. This was genuinely a lot of fun.
And thank you for listening and watching, everybody. Happy Halloween.
Bye.
Bye.